It surely has been a very long time since we have aired from Kampala, Uganda to you, our lovely loyal followers on the African Diaspora News channel. My name is Dauglas Majwega and I'm happy to be back. I do want to send a very big shout out to Brother Phil Scott, our Uncle Phil, to Brother Kellen Cash, Sister Wongel Zelalem, Sister Dimitri Kaye, and all our new contributors and commentators with the African Diaspora News channel. Surely I see that the bridges are being built very systematically, very wisely, and I really want to thank Brother Phil Scott on behalf of the leadership of the African Diaspora News channel for reaching out, for creating these bridges, for the voice from the African continent to reach our folk in the diaspora, and for the voice of our diaspora folk to reach the stems of the motherland. So I really want to thank the whole team, the leadership of the African Diaspora News channel, Brother Kellen Cash, Sister Ongel, I'll be following the videos, Sister Dimitri Kaye, and Uncle Phil. Thank you guys so much for putting flesh and sinew onto this vision, the Pan-African reunification vision. I just wanted to share some leads and some updates on what we have been doing for the time that we have been under the radar. First of all, I really want to thank every every content creator that's out there, whether you do your content from YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, Pan-African content, particularly that content that is geared towards building bridges between the African continent and our distant folk in the diaspora. So we surely have broken through. We have broken through to the government of Uganda, and next month we are welcoming. They arrive on the 18th. We are welcoming the first delegation from America. The delegation of African Americans. Well, that's for purposes of general understanding, but they are not African Americans. We know that these are Africans in America. So we are welcoming the first delegation next month. Shout out to Sister Shirley Spence, shout out to Brother Larry, shout out to Brother Jerry, shout out to Brother Sam, and shout out to Sister Maketa that are already confirmed that they will be coming. And the reason that they're coming is very simple. We are creating avenues, we are creating platforms for there to be dialogue, for dialogue to begin between the governments on the African continent, the leaders of the different countries on the African continent, with groups from the diaspora. Because as long as we are two continents apart and talking about this vision of reunifying Africa, of creating bridges for our diaspora folk to return to the motherland with their families and set up businesses and repatriate permanently, this vision will not be realized as long as we are airing our desires from two different continents. And so we have come to a consensus that it is extremely imperative that we take practical steps towards opening these conversations on the African continent. And that is why we have invited this delegation from America. And thank God they already booked all their tickets. And I believe that by the grace of the Lord, next year we shall have Uncle Phil, Brother Kellen, and the entire leadership from the African Diaspora News channel. They will be joining us in the convention that is coming, that is going to be happening next year, by the grace of the Lord. So we have already we have identified a group that is going to be speaking on behalf of the diasporans, on behalf of especially the American diaspora, the Africans in America. Sister Shirley Spence, she's on the team, but she's a unique team member because she is from the Caribbean, but she resettled to America. Particularly, she's from Trinidad and Tobago. And so it is about time that we began these conversations, because thank God for social media, thank God for the internet, but there is only so much that the internet can do. We need to have physical conversations with the leadership of the different countries in Africa. And our case is we have our distant folk that were kidnapped, taken away, from the motherland during the era of slavery. And now it is high time that they return home and be a part of our joint economic resurrection, and this is what we are saying, and this is the truth, that the diaspora, they are, what's the word that I'm looking for? They're like a silver bullet, quote unquote, because the diasporans are not afraid of the system, because the system that we are so afraid of, because when you try to speak up against these injustices, that the neo-colonial forces are perpetrating on the African continent, be it through funding wars, or destabilizing economies, or destabilizing families, or contaminating our education system. When they see that you're rising, it's a voice that is rising from the motherland. So when they realize that their voices coming from the African continent, they maneuver, they go under the carpets, they use different people in places of power to silence the voices from the motherland. Now, the diasporans are a very peculiar, a very unique group of people, because they have grown up under the very system that we on the continent, quote unquote, are so very careful to speak about or address. And they know how the system operates. And our case is, when we are speaking to different leaders of different governments, particularly Uganda, Tanzania, we've been to Zimbabwe, I was there late last year, South Africa, well, we've been to Kenya. Well, Kenya, I'm actually going back, I think, in about 2 weeks to resume this conversation. But this is what we are saying. We are alerting the governments on the African continent that it is now time that we began to treat the diaspora like the sixth state that they are. Yes, they are a people, they are a country, they are a nation of their own, and they want to come to the African continent not only to reestablish their contact with the place of their heritage, not only to rediscover their roots, not only to relocate to the motherland and set up business, but also to become a permanent part of the economic and social, cultural development of the African continent. Because the unique factor about the diaspora is, unlike other investment groups from different continents, the Asians, the Europeans, the Arabs, the white American corporations, they come to excavate and repatriate whatever they get, whether it's minerals, whether it's funds that is derived from companies they set up. They repatriate all those profits to the countries of their origin. But now the diasporans, they are unique because they're not coming to excavate and take. No, they are coming to become a permanent part of the resurrection, be it political, be it social, be it cultural, be it economic, especially economic, resurrection of the African continent. And this is unique in the sense that, they're not just coming to grab and then run away. They're coming here to set up systems, structures that are going to help in reviving Africa as a continent, Africa as a kingdom. And so these are the conversations that we're having with leaders of different African countries. And that is why this group that is coming next month, it's already confirmed. That is why this is a very prophetic move. It is a very momentous event that is going to happen, because now it will be possible to put faces to the people about whom we have been talking for a very long time. It's been almost, maybe it's coming to 3 years now since we have been talking about this, and I really want to thank the brothers and the sisters that have made up their mind that they will come to Uganda next month, and we are going to have these conversations with the people in power. And I would like to send a big shout out to Sister Olivia Nantongo, our Director of Trade and Investment with the Office of the President. She sits in America under the Diaspora Unit. I really want to send a shout out to you, Sister Olivia Nantongo. She's helping us, connect with key people that are going to help ease this meeting that is happening next month. So this is what this is our takeaway. we really would want to have these conversations on the African continent. And I urge other leaders of different diaspora groups, whether you are a leader of a group in, an African group, an Africa diaspora group in Europe, be you a leader of an Africa, a group, I'm talking about black people, African people, just to be particular. Whether you be in the Caribbean and you have a group of people, whether in the Americas, it doesn't matter. It is high time that we began having these conversations when we are right here on the motherland. So because when these brothers and sisters come next month, we are going to have a very good time. Of course, we shall go, show them some sights and sounds, and then we have very sensitive meetings. And what we are requesting ease of doing business, number one. And number two, we are requesting we are requesting the governments of different African continents to put policies in place to accord them citizenship in a very fairly easy way. Yeah, and also to award them import, export waivers, because these are already benefits that other people are enjoying, except we. For example, if a Chinese person came here, if a European person came here, a British or American businessman came here, they would get about 5, 10, 20 years of tax holiday. They would get investment incentives. They'll probably get land. They would be given import, export waivers. So these are benefits that other nationalities are enjoying except our Africans from the diaspora. And that is why I'm encouraging every person that that oversees a group, from the diaspora. Let's get organized and come so we can begin having these conversations right from here. We are available to help you. We are available to make the necessary connections with the right people in power. And this is what we are saying is the importance of this meeting that is happening next month right here in Uganda. We shall be having it from the 22nd to the 25th. And I believe that, as the Lord grants us grace, next year we shall have it, we would love to invite our team of leadership from the African diaspora, particularly opening up, the portals, opening up these conversations, because that is how it's going to begin. We begin with conversations and introduce our case for the diaspora, because keeping in mind that a lot of, some of our African leaders in Africa are sitting on, they're simply images. They're simply agents of neo-colonial forces. So we are also very sensitive as to whom we speak to and to what depth we go and exactly what parts of our vision want to share, But so this is basically what we are all about. Strongly encouraging our folk to come and we begin having these conversations right here. There is hope. There is a lot of hope. There is a lot of hope on the horizon, because I see, and actually, to my surprise, if I may speak, there seems to be a weightier awakening in the diaspora about Africa than there seems to be on the continent. I think this is a spiritually, ordained imperative, by God, in my opinion, because I follow a lot of content from African Americans, from people from the Caribbean, and they seem to have an edge on the awakening that is happening globally about Africa. There seems to be that urge, that untamable urge to return to the motherland. But even on the motherland, even on the continent of Africa, there are many people across the entire continent that are really, really awakened about what is happening, about the global oppression of African people, whether economically or socially or politically. But the awakening seems to be more potent. It seems to be weightier, across the Atlantic, in the Americas, in the Caribbean, even in Europe. So let us merge this awakening so we can birth the right fruit. And by that, I admonish everyone again that oversees a group in the diaspora to begin making plans to have these conversations. Not emails are good, letters are good, but the best of all is when we are having these conversations with actual leaders in government. If you are a leader of an African diaspora group, outside of Africa, particularly in America and the Caribbean, you're free to reach out to us. Our contact information will be pinned in the description of the video, so we can help set up the right people that you can talk to. We are basically asking the governments of the African continent to open up, particularly to the diaspora, so they can come do their thing. They can come bring their wealth of skill, the wealth of knowledge, experiences across the academia, experiences across the medical field, experiences across agriculture, experiences across business and entrepreneurship, across the financial sector. We need to open up very quickly, because unlike the other groups, these are part of Africa. We are them, they are us. We are the same people. Unfortunately, they were taken by forcefully out of their motherland. So we have to handle them with compassion, with love, with a lot of sympathy and empathy with regard to the policies that address the reason as to their coming. In my lifetime, I will live to see a great repatriation, a great exodus back to the African continent of our folk in the Caribbean, in America, in Europe, in Asia, and the Middle East. So as I'm closing, I just wanted to share the progress of the event that we are having next month, the group that is coming from America, with whom we are going to meet our leaders here in Uganda. And those are the three arms of this meeting. We are talking about business incentives, we're talking about citizenship, and we are talking about repatriation policy. Already these are conversations, they have already spoken to our leaders here. Our brethren from the Americas have already spoken to the leaders here. So it's just consolidating the conversations that we have been having over a period of time. So till next time, my name is Dauglas Majwega, and I'm coming to you from Kampala, Uganda. Thank you for everyone that is supporting the African Diaspora News channel. So as I am closing, I would really love to send a very, very big shout out. I would like to express my gratitude to Brother Theo Scott for providing platform, for the voices to flow from the African continent to the diaspora, and also for the voices from the diaspora to flow to Africa, because now these conversations are happening in people's households. Yes, they are happening in people's households, and that is a very good place to begin. And now you're saying, now we need to have physical dialogue between the different diaspora groups and the different leaders on the African continent. This is a campaign that we have already started. I think we started this campaign in 2021. We have been to Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Tanzania. These are the corridors of the African continent where we are having these conversations of repatriation policy, ease of doing business, and awarding of dual citizenship. This is what we are advocating for. And I know in my lifetime, all this will be actualized, even as the Lord grants us grace. So I'm signing out. Thank you for your support to the African Diaspora News channel, the different content contributors, the different commentators, and the different reporters. So God bless you. And once again, I would like to remind you about our event that is happening next month, 22nd to the 25th of June, right here in Kampala. We are having the African Diaspora Investment and Community Expo. We have already confirmed some people that are coming. It's a group that we are going to sit down with our leaders in Uganda to discuss the aforementioned items: citizenship, investment, and repatriation. And I believe that it's going to be an extremely fruitful and beneficial meeting that we're having. And so I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.